If y'all don't know, my name is Q. This is what it's Nails to you. So let's go ahead and get started and get straight to the point. As you can see, we have why your nails keep popping off, okay? So I'm having a good handy dandy hand here, okay? We're gonna start with that. Go ahead and place in the chat, guys, if you experience nails popping off or lifting, okay? If you experience nails popping off or lifting, put pop or lift in the chat, okay? I'm gonna let a few individuals go ahead and get in here. Now, this is my third time going live tonight. So let's just rock with it. I'm with it tonight, and clearly I am, because I'm experiencing some very technical difficulties, but that's okay. That is okay, because I'll just explain it as many times as necessary, okay? So again, if you're coming across here, put pop or lift in the chat. If you come across the replay, put lift or pop in the comment section, okay? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. If you are an individual and nail techno enthusiast and you experience nail lifting or some type of nail popping off, go ahead and put pop or lift in the chat or in the comment section, okay? Because I'm about to dive into it and why you could be experienced. I'm going to go ahead. There's multiple reasons, and I have a system that explains literally from the nitty gritty of why it could be occurring, okay? But I'm going to list and talk about 3 possible reasons that could cause this. So I just want to put that out there, okay? So I'm going to start with the first one, and it's going to be with this hand. The first possible reason that your nails could be lifting is simply by nail prep. And this is why I have this hand, because it's a great representation of the natural nail plate. I'm going to say this now. If you do not have a strong foundation, your nails will not last. The nail prep is pretty much the first and foremost top foundation of the nails staying on. Have y'all ever been on Instagram or TikTok and you heard like a tech that's been in the game for a long time and they tell them don't focus on the designs? Because I know a lot of people get hooked into the razzle dazzle of the nail and they just skip all the way over the foundation, which is stuff like nail prep or just the nail itself staying on, having nail retention, apex. That's a big one, okay? Because apex is a strong part of the foundation too, but we're not going to get into that. We're going to talk about this nail prep, because nail prep, you start with nail prep first, okay? The nail prep is first. So with that being said, when it comes to nail prepping, a lot of people skip over, they don't feel like they need it, okay? There are some tools out there where you kind of may or may not have to push the cuticle back, but push the cuticle back. Just push the cuticle back. Because when you push that cuticle back, what tends to happen is you're going to see, and don't talk about my hand, y'all, but this is a good representation of what resides on the nail plate when you push the cuticle back, right? When you push that skin back, right here, you'll see like some white little squiggly like lines on the nail plate. You have to remove that. If not, you know what you're gonna experience? Lifting. So what happens is you'll be putting product on top of that. So if you're doing acrylic, I'll use acrylic as an example. Once you're doing acrylic, when acrylic begins to cure or dry or set in place, shall I say, it literally grows up. And what it looks like on the nail, it'll grow back. That's why it's important, which has to do with the cuticle bead. You're supposed to leave a little space back there because it grows back. that cuticle back and remove that cuticle off of that, well, if you don't push that skin back, yeah, there we go. If you don't push that skin back and remove that cuticle off of the nail plate, guess what? The product is going to be on top of that, and you already got lifting before you even finish the set. I said what I said. Yep. So, once you remove that with your buffer, whether you're doing it by hand or using the e-file, which leads into saying there's debris that is going to be left on that's going to sit on the nail plate. So that has to be properly removed. If the debris is not properly removed, which there are techniques and tools that can be used to properly remove the debris and solutions as well to properly remove it. A lot of individuals, what they tend to do, especially if you're trying to move quick with speediness, they take that little brush. It's like a little sweeping brush. It has those very soft bristles, and they just sweep it off. And they move straight into primer, and then they prime the nails. And guess what? That brush literally harbors debris. It harbors the nail dust, which means I've tested this out. Once you sweep it off, it literally replaces visible debris with invisible debris. I know that sounds crazy. And then when you put that primer on, you're adhering primer to the nail. I mean, not primer. You're adhering the primer on top of the debris, which means that debris is still there. So if that debris is still there, guess what that can lead to? Well, people who experience nail pop-ups, so the whole nail is popping off. So we've literally just covered what can cause the lifting right off before you can finish the set by not properly removing that cuticle off the natural nail plate, all the way now to what could cause the nail pop off if you're not properly removing all that debris off the nail plate. So, which leads into springing into priming. Now, if you're a beginner enthusiast, you just started, sometimes, trying to remember the steps, you can tend to forget to prime. So this is number 2. One of the top reasons why people nails lift or pop is priming. So either you forget to prime or you're not applying primer right. Either it's too much primer or it's not enough primer, right? So when it's too much primer, that means it's so much primer you're trying to. A lot of people think they have to put primer on the tip too. If you have a tip, no, you don't. You only need to place it on the natural, enough for the natural nail plate. And what it does is it can possibly flood the cuticle and it gets on the skin. And if you know anything about it, especially hair-wise, it's not supposed to have any type of skin contact. It's not supposed to have that. And then, of course, if you're not using enough primer, the primer can. I've seen this happen time and time again. They'll just take the brush and damn it, that's not enough primer. So you want to have just enough primer. So let me move into a third reason why your nails could be lifting or popping off. Bead ratio. I know, I'm going to say it like this. I'm going to set the hand down for this one. Because people they hear bead ratio and it's just like a scientific thing or some type of chemistry thing, and it just like they're like completely zoned out, right? So I have a chart or a simple chart to kind of go by when explaining about bead ratio. It's so simple. And the reason why bead ratio is a top reason that if it's not proper, it can cause lifting or nail popping off, because either your bead ratio can either be too wet or can be too dry, right? So too wet is when your bead is like literally running, and you don't need a running bead when you're applying acrylic, right? Another one is when you put that brush into your dapper dish with that solution and you're placing it in the polymer, which is the powder, and you don't have enough solution, and then the bead is so dry, and then you try to put it on the nail. If it's too wet, it's just running off. So you're just not going to even have a nice setting of a nail, or it's gonna be too dry. And it's just not. It's if it's too dry, it's not gonna stick. It's not gonna adhere. It's not gonna have that bond that it needs to have for the acrylic to even stay on the nail itself, right? So I'm gonna say it like this: what's the point of having cutesy razzle dazzle nails if it ain't staying on? Okay, that's something to kind of think about. I'll tell you a quick story. I seen a tech do a bead that was too dry, and I was sitting there and I was like, it's a little dry. It was. I remember the finger, and I'm not kidding. A couple of days, like I think it was like 5 days. I'm not sure. It was somewhere around that range, 5 maybe 6 days. It was for a week, and I remember the missionary was like, "Oh, they, reached back out to me and said that nail just popped out. They put it in their bag, and the nail just popped off." And I was like, "That bead was still dry." Long story short, the bead was still dry. It looked good, or whatever, had an apex and all that, but it was too dry, so it didn't stay long, and it led to a pop off. So what we just tapped and touched over was having a great foundation first and foremost, which is with the natural nail, is having your prep work on key, right? That prep work is important. Next is the priming, and third is bead ratio. Again, there are things that you can go by, simple charts to look at and things like that I have created when it comes to bead ratio. Is so simple to look at and deal with, so you can be able to really grasp and understand the bead ratio. Once you apply it and truly, you'll be like, oh, that's not even hard. It's so simple, but it's so important, right? And it also goes into what is talked about, which is the cuticle bead. The cuticle bead is like important, which what I kind of explain when it comes to leaving that space down there so you can have maximum adhesion in silly. And I don't want to say too much though. I don't want to say too much because there are multiple reasons and things that can cause lifting or nails to pop off. And that's why I created this system, this technique that I've been going by for over 3 years, and it works all the time. Especially when if a new client has walked in, they'll say, you know what, I've never experienced my nails to stay on this long. I've had clients, they come in with 8 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks. And I'm like, you still got them on? Like, and they say, yes, I've never had my nails last this long. And what am I saying here? What am I even saying here? If you're into this, go ahead and put pop or lift if you are somebody who experiences this in the comment section, if you're doing a replay, or in the chat section. But what I'm saying here is nail retention equals client retention. People don't want to come to a tech that doesn't have nail retention, right? So with that being said, that's amazing results, right? When you have nail retention, then yes, it's amazing to have all that residue. Because guess what? Who don't want some bomb A nails that stay on and that look amazing, right? It's important. So, again, I'm going to go ahead and put this out here. I have a system that truly covers all of this. It tells you why. It explains step by step. You apply it. So it shows you a technique that you can apply and grasp onto really quickly and see some results. Okay, so I encourage you to obviously practice and things like that, but like I said, you do cute nails, but if your clients keep texting you saying my nails popped off, let's be honest, that's not a good feeling. That's not cool. It kind of mess up your day if you into nails, and that's money kind of slipping out your hands, to be honest. And the worst part is you start doubting yourself, in which we don't want that. We don't need that. Okay, so if you even start wondering like, am I cut out for this and stuff, we don't want to get into all that, okay? But it's not that you're not talented. It's you just, some people just wasn't taught a technique that actually works for when it comes to real actual nail retention, okay? So that's why I decided to come up with what I created, which is called Overweight Lifting Nails. Like it's a true turning point. It provides a technique that gives results. Okay, so if you tired of watching clients leave you for someone else, or tired of praying every 6 days on the entire lifting, to be honest, it can really mess with your confidence. If you really want to get technical and be transparent, it can. So this is something you're gonna fix. And again, as stated, tonight and tonight only, I have a special deal for this. So check in the description. It's only going to be tonight. Check in the description and check it out. And I'm going to be honest with you. It's the technique. It's tons of steps in there. Not tons of steps, but effective steps that will truly help in a technique that you can take with you and boost their confidence, boost your client attention, boost your nail retention. So just kind of keep that in mind. But it's only going to be tonight. So I'm going to go over a quick recap of 3 things that can cause lifting or nails popping off. The first one being is improper nail prep. Got my handy dandy hand here. Improper nail prep. Remember, push the cuticle back. And again, if you want to dive deeper into this, go ahead and check out the Overweight Lifting Nails system, because it's a game changer. I'm going to be honest. It might be simple things that you would never even thought or heard of. It's one part of the technique that's in there that I know hands down, literally and figuratively, that I was taught by a very experienced nail tech for when I was in high school. I'll never forget this, y'all. I was an individual. I stayed getting the nails done. I'm talking about to the point where when I would be in school, individuals would literally walk up and grab my hand just to look at my new sets. But I remember one day I was sitting in her chair and she started showing me something, and I was like, why are you telling me this? As much as I've loved nails and much as I've loved doing nails, as long as I've been doing nails, at that one particular time, it was right before I started getting into acrylics. I was like, why are you teaching me this? And she was like, I don't know. I just feel the need to teach you. And to this day, it has a lot to do with the brand. I'm not going to reveal it, but it's definitely in the Overweight Nail System. So if that's something that you want to learn about and get into, go ahead and check that out. It's something very simple, but it's something that you would never think of. It's definitely not taught at all. Like, I don't see it anywhere. I haven't seen it in years, actually. But I know for a fact, if I was to walk back in the nail salon, I would probably see the owner or somebody doing it. But it's so simple, again, but effective. If you want to know more reasons that could cause popping off or lifting nails, check out the Overweight Lifting Nails system and get this technique out. Also, reason number 2 that was mentioned was priming. Simply not priming or over priming or under priming. And then number 3 is bead ratio. Again, it sounds like ugh, but when you truly get into bead ratio, it's very simple. And it's important because you can't be making beads so dry and expect them to stay on. See, there's a relationship when it comes to primer and acrylic. They're literally the bond that holds things together, okay? Again, what the heck is some cute, sexy nails if they're not staying on? Okay? So again, check out the description, or you can go to the bio, and but the description literally takes you right there. So go check it out. I will be back. I will be back probably the next time. Probably. I'm not making no promises. I'll probably demonstrate on B ratio, primer, and prepping the nails. Okay? But again, tonight, y'all don't miss out on this. Do not miss out on this. It's a great special. Check it out. Go check that link out. It's a special that ain't always gonna be like this. So go check out that special, especially if you need it. And I'm about to tune out, y'all. Go check out the Overweight Lifting Nail System. If you tired of nails popping off and you would like some retention on the nails, go check out that link. You can't miss this. All right, y'all. Till next time. It's the nail world. It's nails to you, okay?